Pro Wrestling Weekly. For over 20 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment radio talk.
Is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
You really do sound like a
grizzled old vet. Is that where you were going with there?
Yes.
To not get you in trouble?
Oh, I'll get in trouble at some point. Believe me, I'll do something.
Well, to keep you out of trouble in this case, at least.
And now, here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Ooh, I'm getting good at this radio thing.
Yeah. It only took you 5.5 years.
I'm not good at it yet. I'm starting.
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Slowest escalator upward.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Twitch.
Yay, I'm here.
Good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
It's been
A while.
1 week since you looked. Oh, no, that's something else.
Oh, I was going for a different song reference.
Yeah, it has been a while. You're right.
Been a while. Okay.
Yeah, it was just the pause. Is that it's been 1 week since you looked at? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Too
old school for you?
No, it's not too old school. It's two different kinds of people.
Two different genres.
Two different songs.
Absolutely.
Of course, I go for the more depressing.
Yeah, I try to at least
song.
keep things upbeat here a little bit.
I don't have that ability anymore.
What happened?
We'll
talk about it later.
To quote the YouTuber iDubbbz, I have crippling depression.
I don't know who that is.
That's fair. That's fine.
I don't pay that much attention to the YouTubers. It's a whole
Me
thing.
neither, but that one just stuck out and spoke to me. Because to start the video, he landed in a wheelchair and then said it. So it's a lot funnier.
So it's meant to be humor, the whole irony thing.
Yeah. Lands in the wheelchair. I have crippling depression. And then...
Well, speaking of ironic...
Please don't bring up Alanis Morissette.
I was not going to.
It's not irony. It's just crap luck, as Chris Hardwick pointed out.
No, this has to do with somebody who brings a lot of irony to wrestling and is now under the ink of AEW. One Orange Cassidy.
Oh, yes. Oh, hell yes.
Here's...
I love it.
And I'm going to ask you about this because I'm not quite going to go on a rant, but I am going to go on a little bit of a rant. Okay, maybe not a little bit of a rant, but I don't know what to make of him.
Okay, let me preface this by saying Orange Cassidy can actually wrestle.
And that's just what I was going to say, and I had in my notes. I mean, he's obviously extremely athletic. I mean, you have to be able to do a kip-up with your hands in your pockets.
Yeah, okay, so he was
trained... And the
trained...
other one is holding up a piece. There we go, the Alanis callback.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, you won.
Since you brought it up.
Good for you. You won on that one. Orange Cassidy, I've seen it myself. I actually have done... when I did the Chuck Taylor seminar at the Worldwide Dojo, he was there. I believe he's one of Chuck Taylor's students. I don't know if he was trained at Chikara, but he's very well versed in. The guy can go, and the other thing is his match isn't. It's not always just his shtick. Like he will turn up the pace when he has to, but right now, that's his bread and butter, and boy is it fantastic. It really is. Like come on, you don't get a little bit of a chuckle out of what he does, like when he.
Well, I mean, I'll admit the ironic wrestler thing of the very if you ask the internet, the hard hitting kicks that he has, and I put that in air quotes.
And then he pretends to do and he does the the Kobashi and Misawa chop exchange, but it's just like when the other person plays along, they just slap each other a little bit.
Yeah,
it's playful.
It's just kind of playful slow motion.
It's very funny, and I'll say it from this standpoint: saves a lot of time on your body.
It absolutely does.
And that's also something that's something he's going to be able to do. Hopefully, I think he'll do it well enough to where it's not going to wear out its welcome. But like, that's something you can do when you get older and maybe can't go in the ring as much. You can still do that shtick.
Agreed. And from a wrestler safety standpoint, in terms of of saving your bump card a little bit, I'm all for it. What worries me is that you're talking AEW. This is a national stage. How will something like that be absorbed by 9-year-old Timmy who might be watching AEW?
Might not be absorbed by 9-year-old Timmy, but at the same time, I don't know if
9-year-old Timmy's the demographic they're going for.
Yeah, they really are going for the. It's a wrestling fans wrestling show, you know what I mean? And while you might bring in a lot of casual viewers, WWE has their demographic on kids, okay? And like they said, they're not trying to
compete in that way.
They're just competition's good for wrestling. Everyone's trying to continuously step up their game. And to be fair, when I was 9 years old, that's when I got into watching wrestling. That's when I started, 9 or 10, maybe maybe a little bit older. I'm trying to think. No, it was 2009 and 2010 I started watching religiously. But like, I was still in elementary school. Jeff Hardy was someone that I loved to watch. I didn't really understand his gimmick as much as I understood the whole. You can still tell a story with that gimmick in terms of he was always fighting from underneath. He was always getting the
daylights beat out of him.
Yeah, the snot beat out of him. Orange Cassidy's he's cool. And that's something
too cool for the room, kind of.
In a tongue-in-cheek sort of sense.
I mean, we saw a little bit of it at the Casino Royale, the Battle Royale, or Casino Battle Royale at Double or Nothing, and Tommy Dreamer had about the same look on his face absorbing those kicks, again in air quotes, as I did. It kind of comes across.
But that's the thing. He's not going to sell it like everyone who takes those quote-unquote kicks sells it in a little bit of confusion. That's the thing.
That's the bit. That's the thing that I'm not getting.
I mean, I think it's perfectly that look was on purpose. Obviously, if he didn't want to do it, he would have told him, "I'm not doing that with you, kid. Find somebody else." Sorry to tear down the curtain a little bit. You mean to tell me wrestling is choreographed? Say it ain't so.
Indeed. I guess I don't know. I guess I worry that it takes wrestling. I understand kind of taking wrestling lightheartedly, but I feel like that maybe this is the pendulum swinging a little too far in that direction.
Well, there's also the chance that they might ask him, "Hey, don't do as much of the shtick. Do it for like a little bit less."
Yeah, do that for maybe the first 30 seconds to a minute as opposed to 2 minutes.
And also, that's the thing is, you're looking at it, the only footage you have of him besides the Casino Battle Royale is his stuff on the indies where they, the people that come to see him are the people that are going to understand the shtick.
They're all gung-ho about it and that sort of thing. And
I doubt they're going to just let him just start doing what he's been doing on the indies without at least introducing it,
or fine-tuning it or things of that nature.
Essentially explaining to them who Orange Cassidy is.
Gotcha. Now, I don't know. Does this make me sound? Am I sounding like one of those wrestling purists, like a Jim Cornette or a Les Thatcher, or something like that?
I really do. The thing with me is I enjoy pure wrestling as well,
without as much profanity. But yes,
yeah, I love watching professional wrestling. I love watching wrestling, but shtick is also very fun when you do it right. And I feel like in a weird sense, Orange Cassidy does do it right. Plus, he's a very skilled wrestler.
And having seen some of those moments in matches where he does go, that's why I'm torn on this. That's why I'm looking for, I guess, somebody to enlighten me a little bit more. It's like, all right,
Right.
I know I'm missing something, but I can't quite place what it is.
Let me put it into perspective. He wrestles. He wrestles at Chikara. If Chikara is at the same time while it's very quirky and goofy at times, the people that have wrestled there know how to wrestle. Lightning
no question about that.
You're
I've worked with people in Chikara, so I get that aspect of it. And I guess maybe if this was something in Chikara, that might be a whole nother story. But I don't know. Seeing this in, I don't know. I'm waiting with bated breath to see how Orange Cassidy translates to a national cable audience.
I think
on TNT.
Well, okay. Let me bring in another perspective of it. Cody and the Young Bucks and Christopher Daniels, and I would assume those are the guys that are sort of scouting the talent, so to speak.
Yeah, all the respective executive vice presidents that I think they have like 7 of or something.
They're not exactly just bringing any old indie star or any, just anyone that has buzz on the independents. They're not just, also if you look at it from this GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, which Joey Janela is a big star there. It's usually under that sense of if you're able to get onto Game Changer Wrestling, because they don't just book anyone either. It's, you're not seeing Joe Schmo who's been to Beyond one time and maybe it's like if you get into GCW, then you're good enough to get into PWG. And if you're good enough to get into PWG,
yeah,
it's a very top tier sort of thing. Cody's not just bringing in anyone. There's a good reason he decided to sign Joey Janela. There's a good reason just as good as there's a reason of him signing Marco Stunt or Adam Page or Luchasaurus. There's
a grand plan there, and I get that. I guess, and I'm looking this up here, and it brought me to a Deadspin article here about the divisiveness of the opinion that is of Orange Cassidy. And it says it's clear why fans might have found the pomp and circumstance surrounding Cassidy's signing divisive. But most of that has to do with Cassidy, a one-of-a-kind weirdo, and this is all quoting from Deadspin.com, whose comedy shtick lands somewhere between minimalism and pure dada.
Yeah.
He wrestles significant chunks of... This is for those unfamiliar with Orange Cassidy. He wrestles significant chunks of his matches with his hands in his pockets and his sunglasses on, throwing weak strikes and moving at a glacial pace out of, quote, laziness.
Yeah, he just doesn't... His gimmick is he just doesn't care. Whatever. It was the name of his... GCW had an event named for him WrestleMania weekend. It was Orange Cassidy doing something or whatever. I believe that was the name.
That was the official title?
Yeah, for the show. Just like Joey Janela's Spring Break or now it's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Orange Cassidy's probably going to do something or whatever.
Interesting.
I think it's brilliant.
And this is where I'm kind of seeing the other side of it here. This is from a documentary short. He'd been wrestling for over 15 years and inhabited his current persona for the second half of that. He said, I was wrestling for some time, like 8 years, and I was trying to be like everybody else. I was trying to be this cool indie wrestler and do all the cool moves, and I realized I wanted to be different. He said, I could do a cool moonsault, but there were other people doing moonsaults better than me. So I was like, what can I offer that's different? What can I have fun with? Yeah. And I know if I'm having fun, the people watching me are having fun too.
Yeah.
So
that's the mark of a true professional. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing something. Nobody else is doing Orange Cassidy's thing. You know why? Because no one can do it better than Orange Cassidy. And Cody believes, I would assume that Cody believes that Orange Cassidy is doing it well enough that a more mainstream audience is going to connect with it as well.
Well, I guess time will tell on that. It's just that's something that, I don't know, I am back and forth on it because I don't want to sound like one of those, he's ruining wrestling, because I don't want to necessarily go that far with it. But I worry that it cheapens a lot of other things by being so ironic. But that's just me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the reason that there's more dada, for lack of a better term, in wrestling now is we can't pretend that it's all real. We can't pretend that it's not a show. It is a show. And there are wrestlers that are very, very skilled and do make it look like when someone hits them, it makes it look like they got clocked for real. And sometimes you do get clocked for real. Speaking from experience. But it can't just all be... Like, the reason that there's different styles is because there's different... It's a different culture. New Japan Pro Wrestling bled over into the like that style of wrestling, that subculture bled over into the States because there are certain wrestling fans who weren't happy with what WWE was providing.
Or Impact or Ring of Honor necessarily.
But Ring of Honor and New
time.
Japan kind of
go...
Ring of Honor and New Japan kind of go hand in hand. Some people don't like that. So when you blend, you get a little bit from every single subculture in wrestling, which is, I believe, that's what All Elite Wrestling's trying to do. When you bring in that perfect, there's the comedy wrestlers, there's the lucha libres, there's the puroresu, strong style, there's catch wrestling, there's the high flying acrobatics, the cruiserweight style. When you bring all of those ingredients into one melting pot,
it becomes something for everyone. A comedy tonight. Now, is that where you're going with this, basically?
Pretty much. It's
funny thing happened on the way to the arena.
Yeah. I was approached by someone who looks like Ryan Gosling from Drive, except he can do Cazadoras.
Wow. I never thought I would get a funny thing happen on the way to the forum reference into a pro wrestling talk show.
Well, that's
I amaze myself each and every week with the tangents.
I never thought I would make such an amazing point.
And...
Or go
I
on such a
agree wholeheartedly with that too.
On such a
not to just
maybe not
overshadow
amazing
that.
point, but like a well thought out explanation. I've made sense coherently this entire discussion. What's going on?
Did you skip your meds?
No.
Huh.
Are they actually starting to work?
Well, it's about time. Anyway, while we ponder that, we're going to take care of some business. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get to Ed from Northeast Philly. We're having fun here as well. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Register today at walkms.org.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
Join Rebecca's forecast Tuesday at 10 a.m. She'll take your calls, questions, and fill you in on what's happening for your personal sun sign. Join Rebecca's forecast once again every Tuesday at 10 a.m. right here on 1490 WBCB.
Crayola Experience in Easton, PA, now filled with even more of Crayola's latest and greatest hits, including 4 new attractions. New this summer. Color your free Scribble Scrubby pet. Scrub it clean, then do it again. Also new, watch your design rock the runway. Bring your silly selfie to the big screen. And discover interactive fun with new Create and Play. Plus, 23 more hands-on attractions with tons of colorful Crayola keepsakes.
Come see what's new at Crayola Experience in Easton, PA.
See, he's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking cape. I'm gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go.
All
That's
right.
what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com and Twitch. Were you about to just take over and come back, bring us back here?
I think it's an important point to bring up. I will censor it. Don't worry. But we were sort of talking about the conversation we were having in the first segment over the break, and Fearon was saying am I sounding too much like Cornette? And then he tried to do a Jim
higher pitch.
Yeah. Which kind of bothers me because that's not what Jim Cornette sounds like. Everybody's impersonation of Jim Cornette is just Bruce Pritchard they're doing an impersonation of Bruce Pritchard doing an impersonation of Jim Cornette, which is Mickey Mouse Cornette. Oh, Joey Ryan, I can't stand him. Oh. It's not what it sounds like. He doesn't sound like that at all. Oh, Daffy and his nephews think they're ruining the darn business. Oh, that Goofy, he doesn't know how to work. Oh.
I thought it was Scrooge and his nephews with the ducks. Scrooge McDuck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Oh, that Lucas Twitch DeSangro can't even get a Disney point right. Yeah. Oh. Told you I'd mess up at some point.
There we go. It took 27 minutes to do so. That's
New
think
record.
That's a record, yeah.
Note the time, Ted, please.
Well, I just said 27 minutes. So, yeah. We noted it ourselves here. You're off the hook, Ted. It's fine.
Cool.
You've got boss things to do. And I'm going to keep out of trouble so that way he doesn't do those boss things toward me.
Or me.
Yeah, very true. So, moving on here, let's to piggyback off of last week with the Lance Storm School closing, if I can be serious for a minute.
Uh-oh.
We're going to go ahead and take a look at the local scene, courtesy of Ed from Northeast Philly.
Okay.
See what I did there?
Yes. I
Ed,
appreciate it.
Welcome to Pro Wrestling
Don't
Weekly.
scare me like that.
Time to double up on his medication, it sounds like.
Oh, no, I don't think doubling, no. I don't think we're going to have any physicians... we're not going to have Dr. Ed in the house here. I don't know how that would go over so well.
I was going to say something, but I'm leaving that alone.
Yeah, keep me out of trouble, please.
Yeah, that's true. And
what do we got in the local scene, Ed?
Anyway, I forgot to tell you about this last week about it's over with, but the Iconics were in Freehold, New Jersey last night.
I think you'd mentioned it the week before, so it had gotten in there because I do recall you mentioning the Iconics. I think it was 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, no, you made sure to let the people know about it.
Yeah. And they probably do that stupid pose too.
I don't think it's stupid.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just me.
I don't think people are complaining about the pose that the Iconics do. Their shtick, maybe, but that's what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be annoying besties that won't shut up. But it works.
Kind of like this show.
Except they're a lot more on the same page. We bicker very, very much.
He's sitting right there.
Oh, I know.
I'm well aware of this.
I'm kidding.
He is not live via satellite today.
Yeah, how do you think this works? What do you think? I just sit in the other room over the mic
in the newsroom?
We're not Scott and Todd.
Wow, you went there.
Yes, I did.
Well, at least keeping it, wrestling related with, Todd Pettengill or Petting zoo, as
That was
Cornette
my
would call
only
him.
joke.
So one thing that Corny and I agree on. Actually, I agree with Cornette on a lot of things, just not his opinions on certain indie wrestlers. He's a great historian. I love hearing him talk about wrestling stories and everything.
Ric Flair was in Cherry Hill at the Monster Mania convention.
Ah.
Oh, boy.
I thought he said monster and it had to do with wrestling. I'm like, no. And then I was like, oh, yeah, Cherry Hill, Monster Mania.
Wow. Way to get your hopes up there.
I don't know if I'd really have it would be, yeah, I'd meet Ric Flair, but what am I going to really talk to him about? Let's be fair.
Yeah, true. You don't drink.
And he does.
How to be awesome.
Well, he's been looking for pointers on that for the last 21 years and change.
Who, Flair?
No.
I know. How to be awesome or how to drink? So I think I can go to one of my uncles for that sort of look to them for an example. And that hit. Oh, wow.
I gave that the appropriate amount of silence.
I think you should have went a little bit longer, to be fair. Ugh.
NEW is at PNC Field in Moose Lake, Pennsylvania tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, for Wrestling Under the Stars.
Renee Young, Funaki, Dustin Rhodes, Jerry Lawler, Teddy Long, and John Moxley.
Well, that's an eclectic mix.
Yes.
And Intel and Cass as well.
Yes, Enzo and Kaz XL. They have been doing a lot of work with NEW.
That is good to know. It's good to know how they're doing.
They're doing very well. Kaz XL, you should see the shape he's in. It's quite a transformation from when he had first popped up on the independents after being released by WWE.
So is it a wow, take a look at that kind of moment, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I might have Gary Stride him just a little bit, seeing the transformation.
Really?
Yeah, I went, wow.
Huh.
Good for him.
And there's the New Day's coming up in Freehold, New Jersey at the end of September at I Play America. All three members of New Day.
Oh, that's got to be fun.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Does it say what time yet?
I'm sure they'll pin that down a little bit closer to it. Pun not intended.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. I'm joking.
No, not doing it yet. But no, it'd be cool to see Kofi again. I haven't had the chance to talk to him since WrestleMania 29 weekend.
I am so happy that Kofi's getting the reign that he's getting. Like I said, I brought this up before. The first day that I met you, I had asked you, why hasn't Kofi Kingston ever been WWE champion? And it's so awesome because that to be honest, I always looked at him and thought, like, why isn't he WWE champion? He was so good. And
well, for a long while, I think we had a pretty good idea of what the reason was, but we're going to leave that alone because that'll, let's just say that it was pretty clear to most people. Dare I say, it was all black and white.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That soak in like a sponge.
Ricochet is in Blackwood. It was 7 to 9 p.m. at Adventureland store on August 29th.
Oh.
That's over in the Gloucester Premium Outlets, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a nice turnout there for when Bray Wyatt was there a couple weeks ago.
Did you go down there?
I have a correspondent who went down there.
I wasn't able to.
Well, they always do them on Fridays, and you have training or bookings on Fridays.
Well, even if I didn't, still wouldn't be able to. It's one of those. It's an unfortunate. It's a necessary evil. Yeah. One of those things in wrestling. When you are aspiring to be a wrestler, you can be a fan, but there are certain things you're no longer allowed to do. For anyone who's ever seen the movie Like Mike, It's like when little Bow Wow goes up to his hero in the movie, Allen Iverson, and goes, "Excuse me, I have your jersey. Can I have your autograph?" And little Bow Wow is 11 years old, playing on a professional team, and Iverson goes, "What are you, one of the mascots?" And then Bow Wow's teammate comes up, picks him up, and goes, "Players don't ask other players for autographs." It's that kind of philosophy, unfortunately. A lot of it's just, it's no more standing in line for Comic-Con. Not that I ever had that opportunity, to meet your favorite wrestler. It's just something you can't do, because then it's like, you're trying to be the person that people wait in line to see. And what sucks is, wow, they started doing those Adventureland appearances. And I was after I started training. But it's probably better that I try and get that philosophy knocked out of me. Not literally,
Darn.
Yeah, no.
I thought they did some Saturdays, too.
Well, I'm...
Regardless of the day, it's more the point that
The
at least
principle
in
of the thing.
Yeah, in Lucas's case, he really can't, and
It's always
even in my case,
it's better.
not really.
I feel like you can get away with it a little bit more. It's and you're very cordial with professional wrestlers anyway.
Yeah, having interviewed over the course of the last decade,
You get to, which is very fortunate for you. And I probably could even use that same thing of, oh, we're going with him to try and get an interview for the radio. But it's better if I don't. I'm trying not to mark out in front of people. You should have seen me WrestleMania weekend. The restraint that I showed.
just seeing you on Snapchat alone, with the whole what was it? One of the things where Jack Swagger was sitting right next to you, and you had to tell me so you wouldn't be all giddy.
Yeah.
You had to hold it in because.
But I was like that also for Tracy Smothers, who was also backstage. And Kevin Nash and Scott, and I, right? Hold my watch, Wild Bill. He was the nicest guy. And, Homicide was also backstage. Jimmy Rave. And WrestleMania weekend was, as I was helping out with Capital Wrestling. I was helping, drive a few of the wrestlers to and from events. Like we got to go to the WrestleCon show in Midtown Manhattan. And we're in the Midtown Hotel. Myself, one of my roommates, who is an executive producer for Capital, and Australian Suicide, better known as Hexagon from he was like on the final episode of the last season of Lucha Underground. And we're standing in the lobby and walking through the door. Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Lawler, Bret Hart, Vampiro, who else? Mikey Whipwreck, the Sandman, Shane Douglas. And I'm just like, my head, if you could have seen the way it was like a game of Pong, just back and forth. And I'm just like, oh, Lord. I just needed...
You needed some sort of release.
Not release, but I needed to I had to go outside for a second. And at the end of the weekend, my roommate, who has also been in the wrestling business, he was in Ring of Honor and Special K, he goes, I'm really proud of you because you didn't freak out like a schoolgirl. You didn't ask any wrestlers for pictures. Like Masato Tanaka was there too, and Brian Cage was walking past us. I got to talk with MJF, but that's because we've interacted with him before at the factory. It was sorry, long story short, too late. Sorry, Ed. Didn't mean to go off on that tangent.
AEW, I think, might be sold out now.
Yeah, there was a tweet that was posted yesterday by All Elite Wrestling that the next two televised events for October 9th and October 16th in Boston and Philadelphia, respectively, have already sold out, and tickets went on sale yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't even buy
Yeah, one-day sellout.
I wasn't going to be turned away.
You cannot deny me that which is rightfully mine.
Yeah.
The Ed from Northeast Philly story.
And SummerSlam is in Boston next year.
Yes, at the TD Garden.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week. I even had a little.
You talked. Was Mitch in studio last week?
No. I was doing my own thing.
Sorry. Yeah, that sounded a little too jerky of me to correct you like that.
I even had a little Dave Loggins in the background. Please come to Boston. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend that I understood that reference until you just pointed that out.
Ah, okay. Well, that's why I explained it for those who aren't familiar with the classic music that I play on Chart Toppers.
I'm familiar with another Loggins, Kenny Loggins, but that's mostly because of Archer. Danger Zone!
And that's about it.
Yep. He's all right. Nobody worry about him. Okay. See what I did there, too?
I played Captain America on this one. I understood that reference.
You did. All right, Lab. Well, thank you so much for the look at the local scene. What was that?
I think my 3 minutes have been up.
You know what? I mean, that's because 7 of them were taken by Twitch over here.
Yeah, I apologize.
That's all right.
How you can take 7 minutes out of 3, who knows? But
well, you're obviously not an indie wrestler. We said go 3, you went 7.
Yep, that sounds frighteningly accurate.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the call. We'll catch up with you next week, or I know that you're more sporadic in your appearances, but that's hey, life gets in the way of things sometimes.
Oh, sure. When it happens to Ed, it's fine.
Have I given you any flack? I didn't give you any flack about Tennessee.
You did not. You did not.
Yeah, don't even. Don't go there, sister.
Oh, I wasn't talking about Tennessee. It's just in the past I have gotten a bit of flack.
Well, yeah, because you were gone for like 7 weeks in a row. It's kind of like, all right, dude. That's where all the part-time stuff came in. It was kind of, man, that was bordering on a Goldberg-esque streak that you were starting at that point.
Well, I don't want our friend and Lord and Savior Matt Riddle to hate me, so I tried to not be Goldberg.
Oh, for a minute I didn't know where you were going with that, and now I do.
I'm not your bro. I'm like, okay, bro, relax. You must have seen that, right? Please.
Yes.
That's great.
Oh, Riddle. All right. Well, riddle me this. We're going to figure out some news to go over here because I feel like we've gotten a lot of, we've kind of pushed things off to the side based on various tangents here. We mentioned the sellout. We've got a couple of matches that have been announced. Also, interesting name that's signing on with MLW. Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit here, and also, yeah, we'll take things a little bit closer to the edge on the other side, thanks to the fallout from SummerSlam here.
Oh yes. Do we also want to talk about potentially a certain tournament and the bracket?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
We're going into that and a whole bunch more. We're going to try to get it all in here. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Lee Piccarello, inviting you to tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. to The Head Game, a must-listen show for athletes and coaches of all levels and ages. Mindful Athlete Training in Newtown, Pennsylvania is a mental circuit training program that prepares the athletes to perform at the highest level of today's game. Athletes get into the zone faster and stay there longer. Tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. right here on WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.
The Bristol Borough Community Action Group Food Bank at 99 Wood Street in Bristol has been serving Lower Bucks County since 1971. It's your monthly tax-deductible donations that allow us to provide food for hundreds of households each month. Please consider a generous one-time or recurring monthly donation at www.givebucks.org. That's www.givebucks.org. Help us help those in need. Please donate today. The Bristol Borough Community Action Group, 99 Wood Street, Bristol, PA 19007.
Choose fresh, local Pennsylvania milk. It's naturally packed with 9 essential nutrients. Just what you need to power through the day and fuel your body and mind. Milk also builds stronger communities, providing jobs and pumping billions of dollars into Pennsylvania's economy every year. And it all starts with you. Choose PA Dairy. Goodness that matters to your family and our communities. Look for labels with PA Preferred or Code 42. Find stores at choosepadairy.com. Paid for by the Pennsylvania Dairymen's Association.
At St. Mary Medical Center, they're on a mission to help you live your healthiest life. Learn more about their advanced technology and innovative procedures, as well as the small steps you can take to be your healthiest self. Meet their highly trained physicians and skilled professionals. Count on St. Mary for experience, brilliant technology, and the most powerful medicine of all, simple human kindness. St. Mary Healthline every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on 1490 WBCB.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, August 17th. On this day in 1997, ECW held its Hardcore Heaven pay-per-view. In the main event, Shane Douglas defeated Sabu and Terry Funk in a three-way dance to win the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. On this day in 1998, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Hartford, Connecticut. In the main event, Goldberg defeated the Giant by disqualification. On this day in 2008, WCW held its SummerSlam pay-per-view. In the main event, The Undertaker pinned Edge in a Hell in the Cell match. On this day in 2014, WWE held its SummerSlam pay-per-view. In the main event, Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, August 17th.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Twitch.
Hello.
So, news and things to get into here. So, this is something I meant to get into a little bit earlier, but things happen here. One of my favorite classics is back in the WWE, and it's a great thing to see. Yes, that's right. The King of the Ring tournament has returned. One of my favorites in my youth when they had that as a pay-per-view for the better part of a decade, from 1993 to 2002. This year, and then they've had it sporadically since. Well, they're bringing it back. The 16-man tournament's going to be played out over the next few weeks on Raw and SmackDown starting this Monday. And the finals will be on the Clash of Champions pay-per-view on September 15th.
Ooh. And who are... So what is the lineup looking like, Fearon? Well,
I have the brackets right here.
So do I.
So
how about I do the right, you do the left?
Well, okay, I have them listed. I didn't actually draw out the bracket.
Never mind. Okay.
On the Raw side, we'll go with that. You've got Cesaro taking on Samoa Joe. Ricochet faces Drew McIntyre. Ooh. Cedric Alexander squares off with Sami Zayn.
Oh.
And it's The Miz against Baron Corbin.
Huh.
Wow. You're just like,
Look, it has to be more Simpsons than it is Vince McMahon. Let's be
fair enough.
Because I was kind of looking like that gif that of him getting
getting all excited about to fall over the chair.
Oh.
Now, you got the blue brand there?
Yes, I do. You have, on the SmackDown side, Kevin Owens versus Elias opening round. Mm-hmm. Then, the winner of that will go on to face the winner of Ali and Buddy Murphy. Ooh, cruiserweight rematch. I like it. On the second half of that bracket, you have Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, former tag team partners, both very skilled amateur wrestlers facing off.
That's going to be a goodie.
Yes. And Apollo Crews and Andrade. And this is going to be a sleeper match, I feel like, because both of them, they can go.
Sleeper in that it's one that people aren't going to have high expectations for, but it'll be good anyway.
But they should have high expectations for it.
Yeah, looking forward to the King of the Ring, and we'll go more over that and probably have that sounder come up a few more times over the course of the next couple of weeks, almost like a King of the Ring report. I might even be like Todd Pettengill and have a
Frosted
Corb.
Tips? Oh. Right.
No, I was going to say a Corb, a King of the Ring board.
Right.
That's what they had back. Yeah. No, I don't think he was... Well, okay, you're talking now, Pettengill, as opposed to then.
Doing a stupid voice instead of the one that he does that sounds rather professional. I don't know.
I haven't listened to that. I haven't listened to Todd in a while.
Lucky.
Oh, okay then.
Sorry. Not actually. No, I'm not sorry. It's kind of awful. Scott Shannon was just. He would put Scott on the pay no mind list so much, and it's unfair because Scott Shannon's actually very, very good. Right.
Moving on.
Tangent over. My bad.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ted.
Press release from WWE on Monday announcing that in addition to the debut of SmackDown on Fox, they'll be having a 20th anniversary celebration. My gosh, 20 years of SmackDown.
Ooh.
It'll mark the premiere of SmackDown on Fox, and it'll take place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles Friday, October 4th.
Is it going to be the SmackDown Shindig as opposed to the Raw Reunion?
That's actually pretty clever because they're going to have a few stars from the past and present on hand, including Kurt Angle, Lita, Mick Foley, Booker T, Hulk Hogan. Booker T is going to be coming for him. Yeah.
Was he on SmackDown?
In that 2003-ish period. Trish Stratus, Goldberg, Jerry Lawler.
Goldberg wasn't on SmackDown ever, was he?
Probably in that same 2003-ish area.
No, he was on Raw because Lesnar was on SmackDown.
Was it before the brand? I don't know. That will no time to hash over that here. Also, Mark Henry, Ric Flair, and Sting. And I think it's just, again, this isn't necessarily everybody who was on SmackDown. I think it's just as a grand celebration. I don't know. Plus, they want big names.
I feel like Cena should be there too, though. He was a very pivotal part of.
Well, maybe. I mean, they didn't list the entire list of names, so there may be others. And they go on to talk about how SmackDown is the second longest running weekly episodic cable television show in U.S. primetime history, only behind Raw, and has the most watched regularly scheduled programs on primetime cable, and has more original episodes than popular TV series like The Simpsons, Gunsmoke, Lassie, and Monday Night Football.
Longest running weekly episodic. So when they say longest running, as in they don't take a break from because The Simpsons have been around a lot longer than SmackDown. They might have been a lot longer.
Yeah, but they're talking original episodes. The Simpsons aren't churning out 52 episodes a year.
No, I'm saying longest running weekly episodic. It's WWE math. I shouldn't.
Well, that's why it says cable television show. That's what they put in the press release.
Right.
Because The Simpsons is on Fox, which is network. That's the difference.
Right, because I definitely know the difference.
You didn't know the difference, did you?
I always thought cable was like HBO.
Well, I mean, cable is anything that's not NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox. Back in the day, WB.
Right, because was the USA Network around during? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
the
it's
USA Network had.
So network is the big four, whereas, to put it in wrestling perspective, network is Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Rumble, and then cable is Great Balls of Fire, Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell.
TLC, you go Great Balls of Fire first? I don't know.
Oh, come on. I got to put some lulls in there.
Absolutely.
Or at least attempt them.
Attempt them, exactly. Going back to AEW for a moment, they added a match to their second TV show from October 9th in Boston. In addition to the Young Bucks against Private Party, they're also going to have Jon Moxley against Shawn Spears.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting matchup.
Absolutely. Also,
I'm very excited for Shawn Spears and Cody. They've been building that up very well.
They have, and we're just 2 weeks away from All Out.
And Tully Blanchard, going to be
wild
managing.
Card factor
He's
there,
managing.
Yeah. Intriguing to say the least. Major League Wrestling issuing a press release announcing the hiring of Tom Pritchard. Yeah,
Dr. Tom.
Dr. Tom.
Stooge.
He has joined Major League Wrestling as a senior agent within the Wrestling Operations Division of the league. He will join MLW starting in Dallas on September 7th when they present War Chamber. And it talks a little bit more about his accomplishments. And something that I didn't realize, while not working with MLW, Dr. Tom Pritchard serves as the head coach for Jacobs Pritchard Wrestling Academy in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had just started doing it. I heard that he and Kane were doing such a thing. I just didn't realize it had already opened.
Yeah, it threw me for a loop too. And what also threw me for a loop was seeing the Rated R superstar Edge appearing at SummerSlam in his hometown. Although, given that it's SummerSlam in Toronto, it wasn't that big of a surprise. But What was seeing him deliver a spear to Elias.
I was so happy.
I mean, the WWE Hall of Famer hasn't competed in a WWE ring since 2011 due to neck injuries.
I feel like, in a sense, they were. I don't know if it was direct, but I feel like they were trying to compete a little bit with the fact that Katsuyori Shibata also sort of laid the smacketh down on someone in Japan after having to retire from in-ring competition. Maybe not.
You might be reading a little deep into that.
Might be.
But Edge said on his podcast, the Pod of Awesomeness, how sporadic the SummerSlam planning was, saying literally 5 minutes before he had seen Christian backstage, he was asked what he thought about going out and doing a promo, so it was probably 15 minutes. He saw him out there, and it was all last minute. Poor Elias had to go and write a song in like 15 minutes. Tells you how much of a pro he is. Instead, he came up with great stuff. It was fun because it was like flying by the seat of your pants when you just find out at the last minute. Now, regarding the spear in the ring, he said, I'm a highly physical person. All that stuff in Vikings, if you see me do it, especially coming up, that is me doing it, and they don't give me a stunt double. People think it's a huge risk, but I know where I'm at, and I've seen my neck guys down there, and they told me the do's and don'ts. I'm not in the midst of being told to retire, so I'm much more emotionally aware and hearing everything and going, okay, what are my limitations going forward so I know what they are? Doing a spear isn't one of them. Now, the really interesting part was his next statement. He said, to be perfectly honest, I think I could do a match tomorrow. He said, and I might be blown up, but it'd be okay, or I'd be okay. It's just from what I know with the WWE medical staff, they won't allow it.
Well, yeah. And to be fair, I think people were just surprised because wasn't him giving a spear, wasn't that the last time, because someone had held onto his head, right?
I think it was Brodus Clay, if I recall correctly.
Most might have been, not trying to mention any names.
Well, it's been well reported and documented. I'm stating facts.
That's fair.
You can't get in trouble with stating facts.
That's fair. You can't because you are the host. I am the opinion guy, and that's why I refrain from.
You refrain from expressing facts?
Opinions. Or I try to be careful with it.
You be careful with your facts. Got it.
Sure. I don't know. Reading too much into it is my thing. I overanalyze. I overthink. It's what I do as a broadcast co-host.
Fair enough. And
note the darn time on that.
I'll go back to it at some point. But we've got about a little less than 3 minutes. The old Rosie and Jamal 3-minute warning is up here, so that means it's about time for
birthdays. Yeah, feels good to do it alone. Right. Okay. Sorry. Poor taste.
I was just giving that the appropriate amount of silence. So 3 plus 2 Brucey bonuses. On this date in 1969, Donald Edmund Wahlberg Jr. was born. The singer and actor known for founding boy band New Kids on the Block.
And that's Danny Cage's favorite Wahlberg.
Yes, and appearing in the Saw films as well as The Sixth Sense, and was also a guest ring announcer at WrestleMania 10, known as Donnie Wahlberg. He turns 50 today. Yeah, it's weird hearing somebody in a boy band is now 50.
He doesn't look 50. Must be those good vibrations.
I think you're thinking of Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Or the Beach Boys. But not New Kids on the Block.
Right. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, that joke was definitely hanging tough. Oof. There, see? That's where you yeah. Because hanging tough is a New Kids on the Block.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Moving on. On this date in 1982, Melissa Anderson was born. The former 2-time Shimmer champion and TNA wrestler known as Alyssa Flash, Raisha Saeed, and cheerleader Melissa turns 37 today. And this name you'll be rather familiar with, Twitch. Mm-hmm. On this date in 1992, Soraya Jade Bevis was born. The former 2-time Divas champion, NXT Women's champion, and current manager of the Kabuki Warriors, better known as Paige, turns 27 today. Now to the Brucey bonuses, because we've got about a minute left. On this date in 1943, Robert Anthony De Niro Jr. was born.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Academy and Emmy Award-winning actor known for many films, including Taxi Driver, Cape Fear, The Godfather Part 2, Raging Bull, Analyze This, Meet the Parents, among many others.
I'm busy!
Simply known as Robert De Niro, he turns 76 today. And I hate to admit it as a summer guy, but we're starting to get into that gridiron time. On this date in 1963, John David Gruden was born. Ooh. The Super Bowl winning football coach from the Oakland Raiders and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as well as former Monday Night Football color commentator, turns 56 today. And since we've got about 10 seconds, a little shout out to one of our friends at the Monster Factory, Goldie, David Goldschmidt. He turns 19 today.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the newer students in the bunch.
Good boy.
That's going to do it for us. Monster Factory show later tonight. Play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WB.